January transfer window is now open, so I thought, why not look back at the summer transfers that came to the Premier League and create the best 11. So today, as I said, I'll be making my summer transfer best 11. So to start off, in goal, there was only one man, and I feel like this bloke, honestly, he's not spoken about enough. Even though there's a bit of hype around him now, he's still not spoken about enough. It is Vicario for Tottenham Hotspur. Now, this guy has come in and taken to the Premier League like a duck to water. I cannot believe just how good this guy is. And what I think highlights most importantly about him is the fact that no one really spoke about him before he came. Obviously, they'd got all the drama with Hugo Lloris, and they thought, okay, they've got a new goalkeeper in, but no one really knew anything about him. Even if you take, for instance, the James Maddison interview with Ben Foster on Amazon, you saw James Maddison actually say, I had to Google and watch his highlights because I didn't know anything about him either. So it just shows you the level before he came in, the expectations, and he has come in and he has honestly been absolutely amazing. Arguably, him and Alisson, between the two of them, it's a toss-up for the best keeper so far this season, for the team of the season. He has been honestly so good. In the top 3 for save percentages, he's commanding, he's confident, and honestly, it's not easy for a goalkeeper to come in and not really be spoken about. And that's when you know you've got a good keeper, because most keepers, when they come in, you kind of see mistakes. We've seen with Annan and we've seen with other goalkeepers in the past. It takes them a bit of time to get used to the Premier League and the intensity, but Vicario honestly has been unreal. So Vicario in goal for me. Now on to right back. Now the full backs for me were two positions that, to be honest, I'm going to be real, there's not two that really stood out. I had to have a real big think about this. And right back, I'm going to go for Livramento for Newcastle. And I think the big thing with Livramento is we all knew there was a player in there, but it was whether he could get back to the heights that he was shown at Southampton. He was originally at Chelsea, then went to Southampton. He's still very, very young. Massive injury he had at Southampton because he got off to a flying start and then had that huge injury where he was out for nearly a year. And he's come into Newcastle, and he's carried on where he left off. He's been absolutely integral for the games that he's played. I think that from what I gather with Newcastle, he's played probably more games than they were hoping that he would, purely down to the fact they've had so many injuries and the injury crisis. But he's played at left back, he's played right back, and in both positions he's shone. I think he's been really good this season, especially at right back. So right back, Livramento. Now on to the two centre backs. Now the first centre back, I'm going to have to put my hands up and say, do you know what? I got this player wrong. It is Pau Torres for Aston Villa. Now with Pau Torres, I called him Poo Torres. I'm going to put my hands up. Yeah, you all know I did on the podcast. If you haven't checked it out, it's called Bucket Sam Talks Ball Podcast, my podcast with me and my mates. And I wasn't convinced by him. I'd seen him in the Europa League playing for Villarreal, and I thought, okay, this guy's some player. But he really, really struggled when he first came in. I think specifically that game against Newcastle is where I really think about him and think, oh, is he built for this league? Is he there for the physicality? Can he do it? Well, give him a few games, and oh my word, this guy is colossal. He's been part of one of the main players in that offside trap that's been working so well for Villa. He's commanding, he's confident, and what I love about him is he's so calm on the ball, it is ridiculous. And a lot of the attacks come from him, Martinez playing it into him, and him and Carlos together have been absolutely colossal, because when we saw Tyrone Mings get injured and Pau Torres kind of get thrown into it, we all thought, oh, okay, this is probably a bit too soon, but it took him a bit of time. But when I say a bit of time, it took him 2 games. It's not really like a normal player that takes a serious amount of time. Normally, by January, we'd say, oh, it's too early to talk about these signings. But this guy, and for the majority of this team, have been really good. But yeah, Pau Torres for me has been absolutely amazing for Aston Villa. Now, on to the other centre-back. Now, this one I do feel really bad about talking about because obviously he is injured. It is Van der Ven. Now, Van der Ven, I think, we talk about Pau Torres, like, getting used to the league. Van der Ven is like Vicario, his goalkeeper. He literally, first game, bang, he's there. I can't think of a single mistake that he's made in the entire season. He chipped in with goals. He was absolutely colossal. He's fast. He's built well. He's been absolutely integral to that Tottenham side and was one of the reasons why they had such a good defensive record before he got injured. It's a shame about his injury, but still, I would still say he can be in the best summer transfer 11 purely because of how good he was before his injury. Now on to the left back. Now the left back. Now this player, I don't feel like it's spoken about enough. It is Kirkes for Bournemouth. Now the little fullback is so good. He's absolutely electric, and what I love about him is he helps that press so much because he bombs on forward. He's pretty much playing as a left winger and a left wing back, to be honest, in this system. Iraola really likes him, and he bombs on forward and just applies the pressure. And at the start of the season, he did struggle defensively, but then when Bournemouth clicked, he has been one of the main men. He's played 20 games this season, and he's been absolutely integral for this side. So that is my back four. Now on to the midfield 3. Now we're going to start off with Declan Rice. I feel like it's a really easy one. He has been so good. And how you know a player's been really good? Arsenal fans have been joking online about the fact that potentially they underpaid for him, which is absolutely mental to say. But honestly, he has been so good. And I think this season he's shown more of the attacking side and more of his actual technical ability, because we all knew at West Ham he was good defensively. We knew he was good at driving with the ball. But it was how would he fit into that kind of system? But literally, like that, he's instantly become one of the main men. And one of the clutch players as well, chipping in with a lot of goals late on in games, like specifically the game that springs to mind. He came in the Chelsea game, and the same with the Luton game. He has been so good for Arsenal, one of the real shining lights on that side. Now the next one, I know this is going to sound mental, Ross Barkley for Luton. Now this feels like we're talking about like 2015 when Ross Barkley went to Chelsea. He was great at Everton. Last season he didn't have a great season at Nice, but it's crazy to think that he has already played more minutes than he did in the entirety of last season, and we're only in January. This guy has been absolutely huge for Luton. A really interesting signing. When it was made, a lot of people went, okay, I get it, he's got Premier League experience, but he hasn't shown great signs for quite a long time, but honestly, he's been so good for Luton. A real good attacking spot, getting 2 goals and 1 assist this season. I really like him. 3 goal contributions. It's a good start, let's be honest. And you can just tell he's enjoying his football. I think that was the main thing. I think with a lot of players, when we kind of see the demise of their career, you just want them to enjoy football again. And it looks like Ross Barkley has got it again, and he's happy. And I love seeing it, because I really used to like him in that kind of number 10 when he was playing for Everton. He's a lot more mature player now. He's playing a little bit more of a deeper role and more of a box-to-box kind of role. But he's really good for that Luton side. And to be honest, Luton have been, let's say, better than a lot of people expected. I said they'd finish 18th, in the league. I thought they'd get relegated, but I thought they'd fight, and they're showing that at the moment. But he has been one of the main men in that side. Now to the final midfielder in the midfield 3, it is Szoboszlai. Now, with Szoboszlai, I don't feel like he gets spoken about enough. A player that, let's be honest, has been absolutely huge for Liverpool. Part of that Liverpool transition where they completely changed their midfield like nothing. Literally, how often do we see cycles with teams when they have to rebuild, and we talk about restructuring and we talk about the long-term plan? Liverpool, like that, over the summer, bought a new midfield 3, transitioned, and they were done like that. And I think Szoboszlai has been huge in that. Not only has he chipped in with goals, but we knew he'd kind of got the capability of driving with the ball. We knew he could chip in with goals, but I think his tenacity is something that was really underrated and something that's really shone for him in this Liverpool side. I really like him. Now on to the front 3, kind of more the exciting time now. Now we're going to, I was trying to just squeeze them into this front 3. So we're going to, on one wing, we've got Kudus. Now Kudus has been massive for West Ham, a player that was linked with multiple teams all across Europe, and it was an interesting signing. When he signed for West Ham, everyone was like, okay, let's see how he does. And oh my word, this man has been absolutely electric, chipping in with goals, chipping in with assists. But what I really like about him is how he drives with the ball, how direct he is, how confident he is. He is absolutely amazing. And the way he plays Premier League, as if it's like a playground, honestly, it reminds me of when you were at high school or secondary school, when that one kid who was just too good, dribbling around fullbacks like it's absolutely nothing, taking the mick with overhead kicks. This guy, honestly, is the real deal. I absolutely love watching him play. And he's one of those players that takes you, he's a bums off seat player. He excites me. He excites a lot of people, and I really like him. I think West Ham, it's a great signing. Now onto the other wing, we've got to talk about Cole Palmer. Now Cole Palmer, we all knew he'd got something about him. When City let him go, I thought, okay, this is an interesting one, but they did get a decent amount of money. Obviously Pep didn't think he fit into the system, and what Pep does, and we've seen it in previous years with Sterling and other players and Cancelo, anyone who isn't with the movement, isn't fully invested in the City side, wants to play first team football, he lets them go. And I have to admit credit to Pep for letting him go, because this guy, I want to see him playing. And the fact that now he's knocking on Gareth Southgate's door, he has been electric for Chelsea. Probably their best player. Well, not probably. Has to be their best player this season. He's chipping in with goals. And he's the main man. Everything comes through him. He plays absolutely everywhere across the front 3 and the number 10 as well. And everything comes to him. He literally is running back to the defence to take the ball on the half turn. Then they go. Everything has to come through him. He's the main man, and to do it at such a young age, as a leader, he's the talisman in that Chelsea side, and he literally loves the pressure on his shoulders. We've seen it in a lot of moments, specifically against Man City, with that cool, calm, and collected penalty right at the end. This guy is built for the Premier League. He is the real deal, and I love watching him play. So Palmer as the other winger. Now onto the final player. It is João Pedro up top for Brighton. Now this man, we all knew he was a good player. We saw him playing for Watford in the Premier League, and then he went down to the Championship with Watford, and he had a really good season. He nearly went to Newcastle on the deal, so for some reason fell through in January. And to be honest, I wasn't sure how he'd fit into the Premier League, especially with his Brighton side. But wow, was I wrong. He's been chipping in with goals in the Europa Conference League. And not only that, he has honestly been electric, and I mean electric, in the Premier League this season. Already getting himself 7 goals, and he's not spoken about enough. It's a great return for a debut season for your new side in the Premier League. He has been absolutely unreal, and what I love about him is he can do absolutely everything. He loves his skill, he loves a megs, and that's why I kind of like the flair side to him. It's exciting, but then he's nasty, does the dirty work, and he runs the hard miles. You don't find many strikers like that, and it's exactly what Brighton needed. He has been absolutely amazing for them. So that is my best summer transfer 11. In goal, Vicario. Right back, Livramento. Centre backs of Pau Torres and Van der Ven. Left back of Kirkes. A midfield 3 of Declan Rice, Szoboszlai and Ross Barkley. And a front 3 of Kudus, Cole Palmer and João Pedro up top. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of my team. I'm interested to hear what you think of it. As I said, smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe. There's going to be lots more videos coming your way, but thank you for watching. Bucket Sam over and out. Peace.